Hey, top of the morning to you. I'm Magnus Walker on a very hot summer's day up Angeles Crest Highway. Here to talk about my 77 US 930 Turbo. It's VIN number 395 out of 727 built for the US production. 77 is the last year of the 3-liter turbo. It's also the only turbo that has a boost gauge on the tach and the only 3-liter turbo with power assisted brakes. Because as you know, these early turbos, the Achilles heel really are the brakes, tall gears, and delayed boost with a short RPM range. I've owned this car for 10 years. I actually acquired it July 19th, 2013 from the second owner. That makes me the third owner. The car is just about to turn 42,000 miles. Currently it has 41,990 miles on it. It's ice green metallic with green avocado leather and black watch tartan. When I acquired this car 10 years ago, it was the fifth turbo I bought, 3-liter. And I actually didn't drive it that much. When I acquired it, it had 39,000 miles on it. Currently, like I said, it has 42,000 miles. Over the past couple of months, I've been shaking the car down. I've put almost 1,000 miles on it, and I've spent almost $17,500 ironing out a few niggly things with the car. It had some electrical issues as it had sat for some time. The CD unit was rebuilt, the distributor was rebuilt, the tach was fixed. I replaced a fuel accumulator, various fuel lines, couple of oil lines, and started putting some shakedown miles on it. One of the things that had always slightly bothered me about the car, but I lived with it, was it had some clutch judder and chatter. So I decided to bite the bullet and have Vision Motorsports replace the clutch in the past 2 weeks. It doesn't even have 1,000 miles on it. So the clutch has been replaced. That meant the motor came out. One of the things I did with this car was something that I've never done with any of my cars. I actually had it dry ice cleaned on the underneath. I removed all the original Cosmoline, which was dirty and sort of caked on. And now you see the original paint underneath that. The wheel wells were left with their undercoating, but the suspension, trailing arms, engine, transmission were all dry ice blasted. That cost me $2,500. I also put on 4 brand new Toyo Proxy RA1s, 225 50/16 on the front and 245 45/16 on the rear. These tires have less than 1,000 miles on it. It's rolling on the original factory date stamped 16 by 7 and 8 inch Fuchs. Like I said earlier, the car was repainted at some point. I don't have any paperwork on that, but I do have quite a lot of paperwork going back well over 40 years. So repainted once in its original color. I actually discovered that the car was originally shipped from the factory with this awesome turbo strobe stripe. So I bought one from Sierra Madre and had my buddy Gino at VaderWorks put it on. Other than that though, the car has not been restored. I didn't want to go down the slippery slope of restoring the car. It's on the original soft sort of sway bars. But let's take a look at it. It's on the original US spec sugar scoops. A lot of people would have put H4s on this, which might have looked a little bit better. But the car does have some scratches on the front fenders, some rock chips, some weathering, some scratches on the side rockers. We can point those out. We'll go down the car and show them to you. Nothing major. Some of these scratches actually would probably polish out with a color sand. But like I said, I didn't want to go down the slippery slope of restoring the car. I like it the way it is. I describe it as a driver quality car. But let me get inside and I'll show you a couple of things from the recent paperwork if you want to come around here. Here is the original owner's manual. This is kind of cool because when I got the car, it had this dollar bill in it that was dated 1977. Apparently it's been in the car the whole time. Here's a 395 chassis number. So it's kind of nice having this little piece of history on the car. I am the third owner. I bought it from the second owner. He'd owned it from the early 80s. The original owner that bought it in 77, this guy right here, he put the most miles on it because when I bought it, it had 39,000 miles on it. But let me show you a couple of other interesting things about the car. I'll pull out a little bit of paperwork here. Here is a copy of the C of A from Porsche. Here's a bill from Vision Motorsports. That was $6 for the clutch replacement. Here's one that's pretty interesting. This shows engine leak down numbers. If you want to zoom in on that, you can see it. 125, 128, 130, 120, 128, 125. 4% leak down, 5, 3, 6, 5, 5. So they're pretty even across the board. That was done by Vision Motorsports on June 6th. Here's a couple of receipts from TRE. Here's a delivery from Tire Rack on the new tires. Sierra Madre for the script. And then $2,500 right there for the infamous sandblasting. These are the current ones that have literally been done in the past 3 months. I do have 40 years worth of receipts. This is pretty interesting. The 40th anniversary of the turbo. This was 10 years ago. I did the forward. There is a green car there. At the time it was my 5th turbo. And then somewhere in here is the whole article on the car. Here we go. So the 930 Extravagance. There's the 5 of them lined up. Those are the other ones, but here is the car I'm sat in minus the turbo script. This was from 2013, 2014. It's basically the similar article. One man, 5 turbos. There is the car right there. We'll flick to this article. That's my 76. That's the green 77 I'm sat in right there. There it is again. So the car has a little bit of history. It's in one of my turbo videos. So that's a little bit about the car. We'll show in a little bit more detail and highlight the pros, the cons. Here's a little nick on the green leather avocado dash right there. I think at one time that was a service card, you know, for warranty. Here you can see 41,990 miles. As mentioned earlier, the 77 is the only 3-liter turbo with a boost gauge and power assisted brakes. So the 77 turbo, as you know, is the last turbo with the whale tail before they went to the 3.3 and 78 with the intercooler. I'm going to pop the trunk right there. We'll take a quick look at the 3-liter motor. There it is, the original numbers matching motor. Air condition works. Like I said, hasn't been restored. At some point though, this motor was top-end rebuild in the late 90s, less than 5,000 miles ago. I do have some paperwork on that also. US spec rubber overriders. And one interesting thing for 76 and 77, all US spec turbos were badged Turbo Carrera. The rest of the world, they were just badged as turbos.